Hey, this is Brent with Lykins Motorsports, and we were able to actually get the 496 forced induction Ford FE engine on the dyno this past Monday. It was the only window that we had open for good weather. Last Friday we had the third highest recorded wind in Louisville at about 79 miles per hour. So I lost some shingles and had some damage and that sort of thing. So when Monday rolled around and it was supposed to be 60 and 70 degrees with sun shining, I jumped on it and took the engine down. Overall, very, very pleased with how everything performed, and a little hiccup at the end, which we'll get to in a minute. But in naturally aspirated form, knocking on 600 horsepower at about 6,000 RPM. Some other pulls were around 6,200 on the peak. But for a 8.3 or 8.4 to 1 compression engine, it's a pretty stout piece, and it'll make a really nice engine. I didn't spend any time tuning on it. Okay, so this is a multi-port fuel injected motor. We did not go down there with fuel injection system. We didn't go down there with a supercharger or the intercooler or anything. We put a carburetor on it just to make sure that, the engine was doing what it was supposed to do. And so we didn't spend any time checking timing curves or anything like that, because it just wouldn't have made any difference. Mr. Steve is going to put his own fuel injection system on it with its own distributor, and he will tune it on a chassis dyno. So I wanted to seat the rings in and seal the engine up and make sure everything was good, and that's how we rolled. So 594 horsepower, 566 pound-feet of torque. The air-fuel ratios, what the carburetor we used, were pretty much spot on. Oil temperature, which is how we gauge if there's maybe anything going on inside the engine, throughout the pull just picked up less than a half a degree of oil temp. You probably had looked at the oil pressure and was thinking, well, why did it go down so much? Because normally we see them, hold steady or maybe pick up a PSI or two. Those rear sump Canton pans that you have to use for the special aftermarket front ends are pretty much horrible. And if you take a look at how those pans are made, they have a kick out that is made to go around the oil pump. So you got to have that clearance. What happens is they hold oil. They hold, a quart or two of oil, and it doesn't, when it's on a dyno, nothing's moving. So there's no, nothing causing the oil to get back to the rear sump. So what happens is it loses oil pressure over the pull. There's really nothing that I can do about that. I added an extra quart, but the way that the pan is made, it's so shallow in the middle. You can keep adding, but then you start losing horsepower and you start aerating the oil, and then oil pressure goes down because there's air in the oil. So I've dynoed several of these engines before with this rear sump Canton pan. This is kind of a trend, and it is what it is. But I think for what I do for most of my customers is just recommend that if they're going to do a lot of chassis tuning or a lot of something we're going to be doing burnouts or something like that, I would highly recommend looking at something like an AccuSump that has a reserve of oil. So in the event that it goes up, the RPMs go up and the oil pressure goes down, it discharges that oil to supplement. Everything else, very stout motor. And the hiccup at the end was my JB weld leaked. So I had two spots, if you remember. One was on the side of the block, on the driver's side near the rear of the block, and then the other spot was on the very back of the block where the main oil galleries traveled. The one that I had the most problems with when I was priming the pump was the one on the side. That one did not leak. The one that was on the back that didn't leak while I was priming started leaking on the dyno. And you'll even see it on the dyno video that I'm going to show. You'll see the flywheel pick up a little spot of oil slinging onto the driver's side header. But I am lucky to be near Ray Shepard. He owns Ray's Crack Repair. He's been working on engines for the majority of his life. He is a top-notch welder, and he actually met me at the dyno. And when I saw that we had a leak, and he took it home with him, so he's going to fix it, and we're going to have a good solid repair. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to put up a picture and then a dyno video, and you can hear the 496 singing at full song with all 8.5 points of compression ratio. All right, guys. Hope you're having a good day. See you soon.